Hi! Today we're going to see what the Aztecs used to drink, their favorite alcoholic drink. So it's called pulque. Unfortunately, all the way back to our games period, but also all the way today, we still drink pulque. Fortunately, the drink has evolved as all things Mexican, and today it is delicious, and we're having an exclusive tasting where we can see the progress, how it's evolving to today's more complex flavors. So, long time ago, pulque used to be a sacred drink. Apparently, it was exclusive. In the Florentine Codex, it's established that the Mexica, the Aztecs, they could only drink it if they were older. So it was reserved for people who could be more respected, who only them, according to that Florentine Codex, could get drunk with pulque. And this drink comes from the agave. So it is the drink, it is the plant that you use in order to also create mezcal and tequila. Mezcal, tequila and pulque, the three of them come from the same plant, the agave. In contrast with tequila, which all of it comes from a single species of agave, the Tequilana Weber, the blue agave, and the mezcal that can come from lots of different species. Most of the pulque comes from also one species in particular, one that I always say that looks kind of like from Jurassic Park, a huge one. It is the Salmiana species. So that species, the biggest one of all the agaves, the agave pulquero, the Aztecs used to process it in order to create pulque. So it is a drink that is viscous, it is very thick. However, today Mexicans do not drink it as much. Like any country, any society, it has its ups and downs. So after the Mexica almost reserved it, like I mentioned, to these people, to, according to the Florentine Codex, older people, and for sacred events, because they believed that fortunately this was a drink that one of the Mexica goddesses, she had to die in order to give us this very delicious drink. When the Spanish came, they were scared by everything, and they didn't allow the Mexica to continue drinking this beverage. So secretly, that's what we learned in the tasting. The Nahua would say that it was only juice, like fruit juice, in order to get around to the many things that the Spanish would prohibit. Then eventually in the 19th century, the Mexicans really enjoyed, when we were fortunately again independent, and Mexicans enjoyed a lot pulque. And my parents' generation, now in the 20th century, sadly they didn't drink pulque as much. Why? Because there were so many myths that it was a very filthy drink, and my generation is now understand that these were all myths, that this was all lies. Tragically, other industries, their competitors, invented those kinds of conspiracy theories that it was a filthy drink, pulque, so that people would instead drink other beverages like tequila. So today, pulque has evolved. What we learned at the tasting is that now it is possible to even have it like this, bottled. So usually, a limiting factor for pulque, in contrast with mezcal and tequila, is that usually you don't find it like this, bottled. Usually we say that it is a drink that is still alive, a drink that it's still fermenting. So it is very hard usually to find it fresh, and when it's also more delicious. So this founder of Pulp Moon, this is the name of this pulques, he has created a process so that not only can it be bottled, but the important thing is that it's still very delicious. Like we learned at the mezcal tasting, It's not the same as having it very fresh straight from the maestro pulquero. the producer of the pulque. It's not, let's say, as thick, the viscosity is not the same, the body, and the flavor is not as the same, but it is very close, it is surprisingly close. And another thing that this producer, Pulp Moon, is doing is that they're experimenting by having very cool new flavors. In this case, for example, lychee. So usually you would have, like I mentioned, pulque from the plant, the salmiana. And then there would be the curados. So you would add some fruits in order to change a lot actually, the flavor of the pulque. So these guys are also adding fruits, but they're adding new ones, fruits that usually you wouldn't find in traditional pulque. Another one, for example, mandarin. So these fruits are so delicious. Here in Mexico it is right now so hot. It does taste like tangerine. So even though tragically this is the traditional beverage of Mexico and specifically of Mesoamerican cultures, we have to recognize that it is very rare for people in Mexico City to taste this kind of cocktails with pulque. I love that fortunately we still experiment with our drinks. And finally, something that I really liked about this pulque is that you can see here how it's layered a bit, how it's not as viscous in all the beverage. So something that Pulp Moon did is that you can do this in order to really homogenize it. So that way, when you are going to drink it, you can have all of the drink with the same intensity, with the same flavor, and believe me, it was very delicious.
We love these pulques, delicious, huh?
I hope you enjoyed this delicious exploration of pulque. Don't forget to hit like, it really helps us for the algorithm. And also follow us, subscribe here so you see more of the very cool things about the Aztecs and how they're very much still alive.